Manchester United just paid £35 million for a 29-year-old midfielder who, according to most transfer pundits, was already past his ceiling. A safe signing, a sensible one. The kind of deal nobody gets excited about, except the numbers say otherwise. Among every attacking midfielder in the Premier League last season, one man broke more defensive lines per 100 passes than anyone else in his role and ranks second in the entire league for line-breaking passes made under pressure. That man is Youri Tielemans, and the story everyone tells about him is almost the opposite of what actually happened. For years, the whisper around Tielemans was simple. Brilliant footballer, missing gear, elegant on the ball, indecisive in the box. A player who did everything except the one thing that decides matches. Nice touch, no end product, that was the label. Stuck to him at Monaco, where he broke through as a teenager only to find himself fighting for minutes in a crowded midfield. Stuck to him in his early Leicester years too, before Brendan Rodgers arrived and rebuilt the team around him. Followed him quietly even as Villa built a title chase around him. So here's the question worth asking. If Tielemans really lacks a killer instinct, why does he keep scoring the goals that actually matter? Go back to Wembley, May 2021. Leicester City have never won the FA Cup, not once. 5 finals, 5 failures. Chelsea are dominating possession, Kepa is untroubled, and Leicester haven't managed a single shot on target. 63 minutes in, Tielemans receives the ball 25 yards out, one touch. Then, a strike that flies into the top corner before Kepa even moves his feet. It is Leicester's only shot on target in the entire match. Final score, 1-0. Kasper Schmeichel saves a Chilwell header to seal it, VAR chalks off a late equalizer, and Tielemans becomes only the 3rd Belgian ever to score in an FA Cup final. Not a footnote, the whole trophy. So what does no end product actually look like on the biggest stage English football has to offer? Apparently, it looks like a first cup in the club's history. Fast forward to Istanbul, May 2026, Aston Villa versus Freiburg, the Europa League final. 41 minutes on the clock, tight contest, first-time finalists battling for their maiden European trophy. Tielemans strikes again, a screamer. UEFA's own technical observer called it simply outstanding finishing. Villa go on to win their first ever Europa League title. 2 different competitions, 2 different clubs. 2 match-winning strikes in 2 of the biggest finals those institutions have ever played. But the receipts don't stop at finals. Basel, this year's league phase. Villa are level at 1 apiece. And at halftime, Unai Emery hooks Matty Cash for Tielemans. 8 minutes later, Buendia slides one through, Tielemans sweeps it into the bottom corner. Winner. He finished the match having completed 24 of 26 passes, 92%, and won all 4 of his defensive duels, 100%. Off the bench, in a must-win European away game. That is not what a declining passenger does. Zoom out to the bigger sample size and the pattern holds. Across his Premier League career, he has scored 26 goals and set up 33 more, won more than 400 tackles at better than a 55% success rate, and racked up over 150 interceptions. In the season just gone, 25 appearances, close to 1,900 minutes on the pitch, and not one single yellow or red card. 0. A central midfielder who plays every week, tackles constantly, and somehow stays clean. That is not the profile of a luxury passenger. Then came the World Cup. Belgium, round of 32 against Senegal, and Tielemans is captain. 2 goals down at the hydration break, tempers snap. He confronts Leandro Trossard over a crossing decision gone wrong. Trossard shoves him. Teammates physically pull them apart. 2 goals down, captain in a shouting match with his own winger. Ugly scene. So what happens next? 89 minutes in, Trossard whips in a cross. Tielemans meets it with his head. Goal. 2-2. Extra time. Then the 125th minute arrives, and Tielemans steps up and buries a penalty. The latest goal in World Cup history. Belgium survive. Afterward, reporters push him on the fight with Trossard. His answer, "Those are the emotions of the moment. We're all winners." Afterwards, there was no issue. The same man who was almost fighting his own teammate produces the goal, then the penalty. That saves the entire campaign. Even the setback fits the pattern. Quarterfinal, Spain, Los Angeles. Before that match, Tielemans had missed a total of 6 minutes of Belgium's entire World Cup, the tail end of a group stage win over New Zealand. Everything else, every single knockout minute, he'd played. Then in the warm-up against Spain, he goes down injured and is scratched from the lineup minutes before kickoff. Hans Vanaken starts in his place. Belgium go 2 goals to 1 down late, Mikel Merino finishing it in the 88th minute. Belgium's captain watching from the sideline, unable to do a thing about it. The one game all tournament he couldn't influence is the one they lost. Which brings Manchester United's business into focus. This wasn't a club settling 244 Premier League appearances, at least 35 club games played in every one of his last 13 seasons. A player Sky Sports pundit Adam Bate called a triumph of common sense, adding that the only real criticism is Manchester United didn't sign him 3 years earlier, when he was available for nothing. Director of football Jason Wilcox put it plainly. Tielemans has consistently been one of the most outstanding midfielders in the Premier League throughout the past 7 years. Tielemans himself called it the culmination of years of dedication since I first fell in love with football. So go back to the original question. Does Youri Tielemans actually lack a decisive touch? A first ever FA Cup? A first ever Europa League title? A World Cup equalizer and a World Cup penalty scored minutes after a shoving match with his own teammate. The £35 million fee was never really the story. The pattern behind it is, every time the stakes have been highest, Tielemans has been the one standing over the moment that decided it. Manchester United just bought a man with a documented habit of finishing other clubs' unfinished business. That should worry everyone else in the league.